Hello, Kalive here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended, the island. So we kind of left off with our breeding, and I did do a little bit more breeding to try to get a better male for the Megatheriums, and I think I got one, or actually two. So we do have some males that aren't mutated. It's important that you don't have mutated males when you're doing the breeding, because it will mess up your mutation counts. But that's like later on. We'll talk about mutations if we do get into that on this map. So I think what I want to do is actually do a couple of things. While these guys are breeding still, we will go ahead and work on the farm, get a farm going, because I want to make kibble, and there's like multiple steps to making kibble, but we will need to have some vegetables on hand for some of the recipes, and so it's really good to get that going now and let that grow while we're doing other things. And also my goal is to get into the caves very soon. I do want to get some cave dinos. There's a couple of those that we need to get. Now that we have cryopods, we can bring any dino into a cave, but there's still two really good traditional ones for the caves. One of those is a Thyla, so we still need to get a Thyla. We already have one that we could probably use in the caves, but I do want to get like a breeding pair so that we can have an imprinted one. And then the other thing we need to get is a Baryonix, and we haven't really looked at Baryonixes yet, but they're kind of all over the swamps, so not too hard to find. The problem is we just need to find one that has a good level. So that's probably what we're going to do in this episode. Maybe we may get into some other things, but that's the main things we're going to do. We also need to finish the cooker. It will help us a lot when making kibble. Alright, so let's get to it. What I wonder is I'm actually going to work on the greenhouse and start working on the farm. So I put this block down. It's kind of lined up to the edge of the cliff. So I'm going to go straight across. I'm going to go right across this way, and then we'll have like a pretty wide range. I can't go too far because we still need to have access to this door. I don't want it to be too crowded. So I'll probably come out a little bit, not a lot, maybe 3 or 4 wide. So what I need to do is I need to go get the blocks, and we also need to start making greenhouse glass. So the things we need to learn. We need at least the doors, the walls, and then the ceilings. That's the basic ones. You can learn the door as well, I guess. And that's pretty much it. The other things are just for cosmetics. You want a sloped roof if you want, triangles. Those are the other pieces. Not necessary to have. So we can now start crafting those. You craft those in a smithy. We need some more cementing paste, I think. Yeah, we have a little bit of cementing paste. We also need crystal. So crystal, cementing paste, and then metal. I do have metal in here, I believe. But we need to craft this in a smithy. And let's see how many you can craft. You actually don't need to have a full building, a building full of greenhouse glass. You can mix and match greenhouse glass with other stuff. That's a possibility. And so yeah, this is the recipe. Depending on the size, you probably want to make, enough to cover that area. We're going to make some roofs too. We'll start with the roofs first, actually. So the roofs you definitely want to have. The other pieces we don't necessarily have to have. So I'm going to have to go and get some more crystal, I believe. Yeah, so that's how you make the greenhouse glass. I'll probably have to go get some more crystal, and then I'll probably have to go get some more metal. And then we should be able to finish this off. Alright, we're back, and yeah, we just made this little small greenhouse. It's not very big. There is a certain number of blocks you have to in order to get the full greenhouse effect. And so we're just meeting that requirement. I think we might be able to buy 1 or 2. So you check that by dropping a crop plot, and then you look at the greenhouse effect, and if it hits the 300%, that means you're maxed out, which means that crops will grow faster and they'll produce fruit faster. So it'll increase our speed now to the maximum amount. And you don't need a lot of space for this because you can stack these multiple high. And I think you can go up to the top really. And so in order to access this, you have to just crouch down, and then you can access each one by just looking at the correct one in the middle of the screen. And that'll let you access each individual ones. And of course we can stack them, we can put them all throughout here. So we can have a lot going at one time if we really wanted to. So I'll fill this out a little bit later. So in order to have a greenhouse going, you need the crop plots, you need this building, and you're also going to need some kind of fertilizer. So you definitely can get fertilizer from the toilet here. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it does work. Okay. But this is very slow. They fixed it to where you can't really spam it. You have to get it one at a time. And it's like one every, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. So I do have a little bit here. And besides fertilizer, you can use feces. So we can get the Phiomia, and we can use that for getting feces. We're also going to need a tap for water. And the taps, we can put on both sides here. I think it covers, this should be 100% coverage. I do this. But the taps will give the irrigation. I think this is out of range, the water. Let's move these all to the other side. Alright, so they're on this side now. Now we see that they are irrigated and they have the full greenhouse effect. So there's 4 crops, so we want to plant one of each, and we also want to give it 2 fertilizer. So we'll do one here, 1 sava root, 1 rock carrot, 2 fertilizer, 1 long grass. Take the wrong one. Go up a little higher. Long grass, 2 fertilizer. And then the last one's going to be the citronelle. There we go. Now we have the 4 crops planted. These things are in the seedling process. I believe there's like 4 stages of this thing, with starting off with seedling, then going all the way to fruiting. So there's going to be a little bit of time in there. And if you're on a server, this will probably be done by the next morning when you get on. But if you're on single player, it's going to take a while for this to grow because it doesn't keep growing while you're offline. So the server shuts down and it's going to be stopped. So that's the greenhouse. We have stuff going now, but we need to maintain it. In order to maintain it, we're going to need a couple of things. One of them is going to be fertilizer. We could use feces, so we could get a Phiomia here. If you feed a Phiomia stem berries, they produce a lot of poop. We just hold down E and we can span this. I think it's on the edge here. Let's move it over here. Let's get closer. Okay, that's better. It's like, yeah, so there we go. We've got a ton of this stuff. 12. And we can now take it, and you can do 2 things with it. You can drop it straight into the actual crop plots. It will fertilize that way. But it's not very good, it doesn't last very long, there's a bullet timer on it. You can also use these bins here. So these are compost bins. You could put them out of the way somewhere. They're a little noisy. But you can put them in here, put in 3, and some thatch. And it will turn this into fertilizer eventually. And I think it's 3 feces is the minimum. Turns into 1 fertilizer. So it takes time. I think it takes, I don't know, it takes a while. Probably like an hour or so to get 1 out of this. But there actually is an automated way to do this, where you don't have to deal with putting stuff in here and having it continuously being fed and then getting like minimal out of it. We could go get a dung beetle. The dung beetle does 2 things. It automatically picks up the poop for us, so we can have a Phiomia in a cage or like a little box with a dung beetle. Dung beetle will then convert the poop into a fertilizer, and it also will convert it into oil. So it's a source of oil, it's a source of fertilizer. Two things that are very good that we're going to need. So we'll go and try to grab a dung beetle. We do need to have poop on us though to get dung beetles. You can use any feces, but the better one is large. There's a couple places you can go get a dung beetle. Probably one of the better places is a Center Cave. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Megatherium, the male one that we had, that we're not using anymore, because we have a replacement male now. And I'm going to go in there and farm up chitin. I'm also going to go try to find a dung beetle. And I'm probably going to grab this Phiomia and take it with me too. Alright, so I'm going to go get ready for this. We don't need much. We're not going to go deep into the cave. I'm not going to finish the cave or go and try to complete it. But the central cave is actually pretty close to where I'm at now. There's a couple of places that have dung beetles, but this one is the closest. It's like right in here, this little mound, like right at the beginning of this mound. There is another cave really far south here, and it's like right in this valley. There's another cave that's further up, like along this cliffside here. Those three caves do have dung beetles in them, so we will be able to get one from one of those caves. I'm going to check the closest one first, and the closest one will let us use a Megatherium, and it also has a lot of chitin in it. Megatheriums are really good at getting chitin, so I'm going to have to get this guy prepared by leveling it. It's no longer going to be a breeder, it's going to be just for getting chitin, and I'm probably going to get some health in melee. I'm also going to need to make a couple of things, the biggest thing being a couple sleeping bags in case we die. We don't want to have to run all the way back there. Alright, so we're going to go and take care of this stuff, and then we'll come back whenever we get to the cave, and I'll show you where the beetles are in the cave. Alright, we're at the cave entrance, so this is the cave entrance. It's like a little path right here that comes out of the jungle and goes up into the cave. And there's also this, here's the volcano, this is the path that goes to the cave, and then we just hop down right here, and put down your sleeping bags. Doesn't matter where they go. Grab the poop if you find any, because we're going to need it for taming. So we go inside, and down here we'll probably run into some mobs a little further down. Not really any mobs until you get down till about right here. Then you can go either way. It's like a big circle, big loop. But at this point, you definitely want to throw out the Megatherium, or whatever your caving dino of choice is. I'm using the Megatherium because I need the chitin. We're going to get a lot of chitin from this. There's like a mixture of spiders and arthroporas, and then like onyxes, stuff like that. Some snakes. But these guys get a really good amount of chitin. Alright, so this is where you'll see the beetles. If we can find any beetles. Is there any in there? The bats will definitely aggro onto us. Yeah, I see one beetle there. It's kind of moving around. Alright, so we're gonna have to hop off and hop back on. It's gonna aggro everything. Okay, let's just back up a little bit. And be careful with the rabies, because the rabies will kill us. Oh, look, we're a black box already. Alright. I think that's everything. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. A lot of berries. I'll probably take a couple of these and drop all the berries. So let's get rid of the berries. Let's get rid of the fiber. Alright, that should be good. I'll get some chitin. Wasn't a lot of things in there that had chitin. Anything else that can kill me? Let's see. There's one beetle here. That snake's dead. You definitely want to disable harvesting if you can. I think we just have one beetle. That's about it. Don't see any enemies. I think he's attacking us. So I do have some poop on me. You should put it in your last slot, and you can actually tame these guys up by just feeding it to them. They're not aggressive at all. This is a very low level one too. Let's cryopod this one. There should be more. Okay, got that one. Any more? Oh, there's right here. There's more. Level 20. Oh, I shouldn't even do that. Alright, let's see if a 20 can one tame. Nice. And this guy is level. Okay, this one's level 125. Alright, so that's probably too high of a level. I think it's going to take a while to do that. So I'll just bottle this guy up and then let's just head back to the base. I might look around for another lower level one, but if I don't see one, then I'll just head back. Alright, I wound up finding level 45, and the other one was taking too long, so. But let's head out. Yeah, that one's going to be stuck in there for a while. That's alright. Maybe we'll come back and get it later. So, if you don't have enough cryopods, you can always just pick one up and you can ride your mount while you're carrying it. You just can't hold this in a weapon, but you can carry them, and we'll bring it back to the base, and then we'll discuss a little bit more about what we can do with them. Alright, back at the base. I've had to close this off just so I can put these guys in here. So what's going to happen is these guys will pick up anything that drops from the Phiomia. So like right there, this one just picked one up. We want to pump in weight. And what we need to do is get a couple of them. As a level, we'll make sure that the weight, it goes up on them. They don't really need anything else. What we also have to do is put them on Wander. And this will allow them to convert the feces into fertilizer. Okay, so make sure that Wandering is on all these. And this will let them start converting. So depending on the size of the feces they will get a certain amount of fertilizer and oil. I believe from medium, which is what the Phiomia produces, they will get, I think, 2 fertilizer per conversion and 2 oil. So we need to come back here and check every once in a while to see how they're doing. They do also eat meat, so we have to make sure that they're within range of getting meat as well. Yeah, that's the Dung Beetles. This will passively produce fertilizer for us that we can feed to our plants. We'll have to add a few more plants, like crop plots in here. And then if you need to move these guys around, you can just pick them up and throw them, really. And that'll get them out of the way. The Phiomia can probably... I don't know if... Maybe I can put it on the roof and they can pull it from the roof. I need to do some testing to see if that works. But we don't have to go in here very often, just enough to level them up and just pull this stuff out of here, out of their inventories, whenever they do get anything produced. Alright, so what we need to do now is probably get a couple more tames. We need to get some caving dinosaurs for sure. Start that process. We also need to get another UD. And once we get these Megatherium up and running, we can work on getting prepared for the first boss. So definitely get some caving tames, which the best 2 is going to be a Thyla for certain caves, and then the Baryonix is another good one. We can use a Uteranus for one of the caves, and we're going to have to work on getting a really good shotgun for one of the caves. And then we can get into water tames. So we have to do water tames eventually. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and look for a Baryonix. That'll probably be something that we're going to need pretty quickly to get into the caves. So the Baryonix typically hang out in the swamps. They are kind of big, so not that hard to see. but they do kind of blend in because they don't move very much. So there's one right there. So what we need to do is just try to fly low enough to where we can be out of range of the capros, but then try to be able to see deeper into the swamps. So I'll just go through and show the Baryonix that I find. Hopefully we find something good. So I'll see you when we find a good one. Alright, I just wanted to give a quick update. I did get the Baryonix. It's a 120 all the way past the green obelisk. I'll show the map here. All the way over here. This is pretty far from our base. I went all through the swamp, and then I came to this swamp here, and I found it in here. Every other one I found was probably level 50 or lower. And then I realized I didn't have any tames on me that could get some prime fish. I had to go kill sharks with my crossbow and chop them up with my pickaxe. Now I have prime meat. I can go feed it to this thing. And it is a 120, so it's not too bad. And it's a male, so we are set. This is the trap I made for it. I had to like improvise a little ramp. I need some food. Let's get some raw fish, it's fine. Probably the least poisonous stuff out you can get. Alright, let's get the prime. They don't eat anything other than fish, so you can't really feed them prime meat. It won't work out for them. They won't eat it. I need to go kill other berries in order to kind of clean up the lower levels. And then I'll be able to get newer ones that spawn in. Alright, back at the base, I did also see another 120 Baryonix in the same swamp, so I'll have to go back and get that. But this one, we actually got really good rolls, surprisingly. For it being a 120 initially, we got a 40 in melee and a 34 in health. Now there's no oxygen stat for this, so you do get higher rolls for other things. We also got a really low roll on food, which definitely helped everything else. And we don't really need stamina that much, so this one by itself is actually a pretty good Baryonix, and we can use it in caves most likely. I definitely want to have a bred one for caves, so I need to go find a female now and try to get that breeding started. So the progress of these guys, they're almost done, like halfway. Yeah, about halfway done. So when these are done, we'll have more breeding to do. But what we do need is we need to go get some bees. Those are like the next step for kibble making. And I still need to get a male Uranus for breeding and for the eggs. Alright, so we did get level 89. And that means we now have access to the industrial cooker. And the industrial cooker is very important because it allows us to now make kibble and other things very easily. So we'll be able to make a lot of the cooking ingredients without having to deal with the cooking pot. The cooking pot's good, but you're going to spend a lot of time ferrying water back and forth. You could put a tap up here, and then you have to like make a bunch of water skins and then throw water in here. It's a pain, but this will let us now start automatically crafting things. Go cooking, and then we go here, and we need 1800 metal ingots. We might have that. I'll have to go check to see if we have that. Maybe. Extra 500. How much do we have? Yeah, I think we have enough. Let me go move this over. We'll grab all this metal from here and move it over. Alright, yeah, we do have enough metal, so we're going to use all of the metal, and this is going to be it for us. So this is the industrial cooker. Let's turn this off. And we need to put this in within range of water. So I might do it like right here, I think. Turn this off. Just opposite. Can we switch the sides? I think this is the right side. Oh, yeah, that's right. So we do need water. So you see down below it says irrigated and powered. So we need power and water. And this will let us craft a lot of things. We can craft dyes. I need the colored dyes now. These dyes, lots of different colors of dyes. They require various types of berries depending on what color you're doing. We can do more dye stuff. And we also can craft the foods. So all the different recipes. You can craft the same stuff in the cooking pot. It's just, like I said before, it's just a big pain. But now we have 10,000 water stored in this thing. So this automatically will fill up water. And this will let us be able to craft these. We also have kibble, and these are the different kibbles we're going to start crafting. This is the one I want to go for, is the extraordinary kibble, and it requires the extraordinary eggs, which is the eggs that we get from the Uranus. So we're gonna have to get more eggs from Uranus. But this is the best kibble, and this will feed every dino that we can tame. It does require honey. We don't have honey yet, but we will get that soon. We actually do have everything to make kibble for this, but we don't have the eggs just yet. The honey is not a big deal to get. We just need some bees, and we need to find some bees. I think there's some bees around the green obelisk. That's usually where they spawn at. Or they typically spawn in the redwoods, but I've had less luck finding them recently. So we'll go ahead and probably work on getting the bees and getting the Baryonix next. Just flying through the redwoods, and look at this. A 150 female Thyla on the same tree with a level 95. That's a dangerous tree right there. We need to mark this one, and then we'll come back for this one. Hey, you know what? I couldn't pass it up. I need to go grab this, and then we will bring it back to the base. I don't want to lose this one, and it already felt the tree, so they tend to be really hard to spot once they jump off the tree. So hopefully get back to the base, and then we can knock it out, just like we knocked out the earlier one. It should be pretty simple. I do have a trap on top of the base now, so I put one up there for Dodicarus earlier. And now we can hopefully knock this thing out. Alright, made it back to the base with it. So it shouldn't jump out. The other one didn't jump out. I hope this one doesn't jump out. It does take a lot of narcotics to keep down. Looking at this, it's going to take probably 300 narcotics. And we don't, we have this cooked meat we can use, cooked prime meat. It's not as preferred though, so we're not going to get the best tame on this thing. But it is a 150, so that's at least worth grabbing. I'll have to knock this thing out, and then I'll feed it, and then give it some narcotics, and then hopefully we'll be good to go after that. Alright, finally we found a bee nest. Only took a couple of in-game days, but we did find one. So this is the beehive, and this is what we need to knock out in order to get one of the queen bees to drop, and then we can capture, and this will give us a source of honey. So you can actually use like a bear and like build a ramp up there and then go swipe at it and get honey that way. It isn't that great of a method because you're having to come back here and do it over and over again. But what we need to do in order to get this bee, we first need to equip our gear. We need to get full ghillie. And then we need to use one of these bug repellents whenever it drops. So we don't need to use it right now. We should use it when it drops. Switch to regular arrows. This might take a little while with this bow and arrow, but we'll see. They will spawn bees, so you might want to like get really far back. The bees will chase you for a little bit, then they'll die, so you have some time to kind of run away. Yeah, see, they'll Something's coming. Oh, yeah. Be careful sometimes, they get terror birds and all kinds of stuff coming in there. Alright, this could take a little while. They do have a decent amount of hit points, as you can see. 5,000. You might be able to get in there and use an RG and go knock it down that way. Probably one of the better methods is actually to get like a Dimorphodon and stick the Dimorphodon on it. But this actually could work. You just have to hit it and run. Hit it and run. I'll send bees to you. If the bees hit you while you're flying a mount, you will get knocked down. They'll knock you off your mount, so you have to be very careful with that. But that was 800 damage just from that one hit. Yeah, so run there, swipe, and just run out. Yeah, one more hit and one of them will be down. So what we'll do is you want to make sure you have your flowers on your far bar. You're going to use these to do the tame. Also want to make sure that we pop this now. This will reduce the aggro on any insect. Put that away. Then we just run in here. Knock it out. Okay. So now we have one of the bees out of there. Let's park this. Let everything de-aggro. Alright, this bee's gonna be like lying on the ground now. Let's double check this nest. Yeah, just one nest now. Okay, you stop following. We need to go in here, find the bee. There, right there's the bee. Okay, we should be very careful. Doesn't aggro us. It will summon little drones around it. And like, run up there and spam it. And then if you spam it and you catch it, you won't get attacked. If you didn't spam it, then you probably missed it. We have the bee now. So what we can do now is hit E and we get a hive. We now have a hive in our inventory instead of a bee. You could catch these bees and put them in cryopods. I think you only do that if you're like trying to bring one across a map. Or I don't know why you want to do that. Or maybe I guess there's mods that require bees or whatever. That's the only reason I think you would actually use that. So now that we have a beehive, we can plant this in the world and this will start producing honey. This is a structure, so it's not, doesn't require anything special to get it going. We just need to throw it in the world. And we also we do need to feed it rare flowers. That's pretty much it for the bees. Alright, so once you have your beehive and a bunch of flowers, you should be good to go to put the beehive down. You do want to put on your full set of ghillie though. That's going to be a requirement. If you don't, you're going to get stung. So we drop this down. You can put it on stone and stuff like that. Yeah, so drop it down anywhere that it'll fit. I'm going to put it on stone here. And then we just need to open up the inventory and throw in some flowers. We have 45 slots, so this will fill up with honey. It will eat the flowers, and it'll turn the flowers into honey over time. So we need to come back in here and check pretty often. But as long as you have a full ghillie suit, you should be fine. If you don't have a full ghillie suit on, say we just use our normal gear. We open this up. See how we get that stung ability? So yeah, we're stung. That slows us down. It does damage over time. So pretty decent amount of damage too. Be very careful with that. So yeah, we want to definitely avoid that. You really want to have your full ghillie suit on when you go for those things. As long as you have that on, you should be fine. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. So we did do quite a bit. I did actually dye my outfit. I made some dyes, some green dyes, and then dyed it. Now that we have the cooker, it's easy to do. Accidentally made a lot of these things, so be careful what you put in the cooker and autocraft, because it will autocraft a lot of stuff. we made really good progress on caving dinos, which is the biggest thing. We did get our cooker made, we got the garden made, we have that whole thing set up. So we should be able to start making kibbles for the remaining dinos that we need. So yeah, and then we also did grab Utaranuses, so we do have a breeding pair. I think in the next episode we're going to start working on some of the caves, some of the easier caves at least, and then we'll probably get into the water. We need to get into the water pretty quickly in order to complete the map. It's going to be a big part of it. But other than that, I think we're on a good pace to start bosses very soon. So that's going to be it. I thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.